Hey folks, hello and welcome back to ADV Revival 2. My name is Cobb. You may remember me. Gold Mason has removed me from my cryostasis chamber. I'm here to record a bracket set this time around. Specifically, the round of 16 set between Triangles and Segale. Triangles needing very little introduction, I imagine. One of the greatest to ever do it. Segale, I can offer very little in the way of an introduction. I know not a whole lot about the player, other than the fact that he is quite good, as evidenced by the fact that he's made it this far in the bracket. And the winner of this set is going to move on to the quarterfinals. So, without further ado, let's get into this high-level gameplay. Alright, Segale is going to lead with the Flygon. Triangles sending in Tyranitar. Segale switching in his own Tyranitar. As Triangle switches into Skarmory, we are positioning folks, but Magneton does find the way in on the Skarmory, and it will take Skarmory's life with the Thunderbolt in exchange for the one spike. Salaman's in now, threatening this Magneton with Earthquake or Fire Blast. Melodic will take either quite well, and it will be a Fire Blast. Seems like a mixed Salamence. Melodic can pressure here with a Toxic, maybe an Ice Beam, a little rarer. Will just choose to recover in that position. Celebi finds its way in. Could Giga Drain the Melodic here, could Leech Seed on a bunch of switches. Skarmory will be the entry and will take very little from the Giga Drain. No problem. We'll see the Celebi maybe have HP Fire. Looks like that is the click. Skarmory will take a nice chunk in exchange to get that spike down. We'll probably see a Protect here, I imagine, to get the chip heal up. Indeed. Celebi continues to swing with HP Fire. I think we will see a switch out here from Skarmory. I think that would make sense. Indeed, Flygon will enter on the Hidden Power Fire, taking very little. And Flygon, no lefties in the lead slot. This screams the Choice Band to me. And we'll see Swampert take the Rock Slide either way. Choice Band irrelevant. Clicking Earthquake in the face of Flygon there is a little interesting, perhaps. Expecting a switch to something. I'm not quite sure. I don't follow. But the Hydro Pump will do some good damage to Skarmory. Not enough to score a KO the next time, but we'll see Salamence come in to try to threaten that a bit more. Skarm protects to try to chip heal, so Triangles takes full advantage of that. Skarm will get the Protect off this time, though, and we see Fire Blast to the left, irrelevant, of course. But Skarm is getting higher and higher in health. Going to switch out to Melodic here, which again deals with Salamence pretty well. We see the HP Grass prediction, at least. That's going to do a nice chunk of damage to Melodic, but cannot threaten the KO here without a crit. And indeed, there is no crit. Melodic will recover up safely. As the leftovers proc, we'll see a switch back out to Celebi, threatening the Giga Drain this time. The switch to Skarmory would be expected in that case. The switch to Flygon is also quite healthy on the HP Fire, but we'll just see the Leech Seed covers a lot of options there. And that's going to pressure Flygon a lot. HP Bug there threatening Celebi with the Choice Band, so we'll see Swampert return. But being Toxic means that this is a little precarious. We'll see a Hydro Pump into Skarmory's Protect again. As the Toxic starts to wrap up and Swampert has already got to get a move on pretty soon. Just going to Hydro Pump. I mean, missing the Melodic is not terribly consequential. It would have taken very little. And we'll see an Ice Beam actually right into Swampert's face, and Swampert goes for the Earthquake. Gets a crit, which is some good damage on Melodic, but Swampert is going to be very low now, sacrificing most of its health to that Toxic as Segale was maneuvering. Melodic does get the opportunity to recover up as Celebi re-enters. This could be another free Leech Seed. No, just going to Psychic, actually. Looking to hit Flygon a little harder, perhaps. Skarmory will come back in, though, start protecting for the chip heal. Celebi can do very little besides the Leech Seed, but it looks like we're continuing to click the Psychic here. Skarm's going to get a Spike up in the meantime. And, of course, this is going to be even slower due to Skarmory chip healing with the Protect every other turn and such. And finally swinging with the HP Fire. Skarmory will Drill Peck Celebi, taking a huge chunk out of it. But Skarmory cannot take another HP Fire, and thus we'll see the Salamence come in as a heads-up play on the Protect that time. Nicely done. Now this threatens quite a bit. especially if it is, yeah, there's the Dragon Claw actually looking to snipe Flygon perhaps. It's going to get a big crit on Skarmory, though. Not quite kill it. Skarmory will land a crucial Toxic on Salamence, though. And the Protect is only going to rack up more Toxic chip damage. Ooh, and finally we see the exit. Segale 6 is a Snorlax, which will also deal with mixed Salamence pretty well, it would seem. Dragon Claw doing very little. And we'll see a switch back out to Melodic, just positioning here, making sure that this Salamence is getting as little mileage as possible as the Toxic continues to chip away. We see much of the same story as with the Swampert. This Melodic's Toxic has been doing tons of damage to Triangle's team here. And Segale is looking pretty healthy still, all things considered, besides the Skarmory. The big Giga Drain there will help Celebi out a little bit. We'll see Swampert come in, and not quite enough for a Spike Sack, but that will give Flygon the time to lock into HP Bug, it would seem. Aerodactyl is the 6th for Triangles. The Rock Slide there will finish off the Skarmory, but yeah, Magneton can come in and stomach another one of those. No problem. So we'll see a switch out to Tyranitar, which is still not ideal, taking big damage from the Thunderbolt from Magneton. We'll see Melodic re-enter. And Crunch is also not going to do a whole lot. Segale looking to be in a pretty commanding position here. Taunt, though, is going to stop Melodic from recovering up. That's something. There is potential here. A crit. Crunch is going to take another huge chunk out of Melodic as it surfs Tyranitar to death. Celebi could threaten the KO here, of course. But it's the same position as before for the most part. Just the Giga Drain, the Layer 1, is going to do it. And Flygon re-enters now. And the switch-ins to this thing are looking less healthy than ever. Hidden Power Bug, though, is still not going to do much to Salamence. The Toxic damage will in a turn or two. We'll see T-Tar come in to stomach something. The Brick Break, though, seems like a good prediction from Triangles, at least. Take a huge chunk out of the Tyranitar, but does it matter? Still looking unfortunate. Salamence drops to the Toxic. Flygon is back in a commanding position. Aerodactyl cannot really hedge that well, and the Rock Slide miss is pretty brutal there. Will this be at the... the Rock Slide will manage to flinch the Snorlax, though, which spells the end for it. And the Magneton is still going to be very difficult to deal with. Rock Slide is going to need to get flinch here. It does not. Aerodactyl dies to the Thunderbolt. Celebi comes in and has its work cut out for it. Psychic is not going to be enough to kill the Magneton, though, and the final Thunderbolt will do Celebi in. And that'll be Segale taking game 1 here against Triangles. Nicely done. Nicely played around the Celebi very well there, between the Flygon and the Skarmory, and the Melodic, of course. Well played. I liked that. That was a fun match, and pretty down to the wire there, all things considered. Now, can I interest anyone in a game 2? Game 2, anyone? Tyranitar lead from Triangles, Dugtrio lead from Segale. Tyranitar is trapped, going to take most of its health. Will take Dugtrio down with it. But Tyranitar on its last legs here. Fortress is the follow-up. Going to take even more damage from another Earthquake. This is looking like Choice Band, perhaps. We'll get a Spike down in the interim. Skarmory comes in for the follow-up, looking to match, perhaps. But Claydol is in, looking to take the next Earthquake. And Skarm will take the opportunity to Spike up. We'll see Tyranitar as the Spike Sack, going to deny a Spike or a Spin from Fortress. And now Charizard is in, pressuring Fortress hard. And we may see a sub come down here. Difficult position to be in. Suicune will come in, though. Should be able to deal with it okay. Charizard tending to bring HP Grass, though. That's not the healthiest thing for a dog. And that will indeed do a decent chunk of damage. Calm Mind is going to mitigate this quite a bit. I would expect with this particular gameplay that we're going to see a rest come down. Indeed, that'll be the case. Maybe a Sleep Talk even. Which, I mean, is going to be pretty good, pretty favorable. Charizard is going to keep swinging with HP Grass behind the sub, of course. Looking for a crit, which will do huge damage. But not quite finding it yet. Suicune fast asleep, biding its time till it can wake up. Looking to not have Sleep Talk, actually. That is unfortunate, and there, Charizard will actually find the crit on the HP Grass pretty early, all things considered. And still behind the sub, Charizard is just going to Flamethrower the Claydol. Claydol with the Weather Clear, though, with the Rain Dance. That is actually going to nerf Charizard's Flamethrower quite hard. Can't get the 2-hit KO, and Focus Punch also doing very little. Finally breaking the sub, and HP Grass will finish off the Claydol, though. That will be enough. Blissey in, though. Charizard without a sub means it can't Focus Punch into this Blissey safely. Gonna try to get a sub up, but it is in vain. Blissey is, of course, tossing that away immediately, having none of it. We'll see Triangle's match with his own Blissey. Taking the toss, no problem. We find ourselves at a bit of a stalemate here. Both Blisseys healthier than ever without that Sandstorm from Tyranitar. See Triangle's Blissey get paralyzed, but I mean, pretty inconsequential. The Toxic, though, is going to be a little more consequential, as it'll force Blissey out of this stalemate eventually. Snorlax is the 6th again for Segale, as Blissey is paralyzed. But Triangle still has the whole team pretty much in the back, including 2 unrevealed Pokemon. We'll see Fortress come back in. Skarmy is just going to Drill Peck as Fortress spins away the Spike. Skarm is just going to keep chipping the guy down. I mean, can't go wrong there. Fortress is going to trade some of that health for a Spike. Blissey returns. Skarmory reasserts that Spike and is going to taunt the Blissey, actually, which prevents it from paralyzing Skarmory, forced to Seismic Toss. Born to Thunderwave, forced to Seismic Toss, as Skarm roars Fortress back in. Maybe not the one it was expecting, but I mean, the Drill Peck chip you love if you're Triangles, especially as Segale's forces dwindle here. Spike reasserted again. Skarm has already chip healed most of that Seismic Toss damage back up. Blissey's going to toss again into Triangle's Blissey, who is presumably just going to heal up no problem here. Indeed, that will be the case. Snorlax re-enters, though. Skarm re-entering on that. It is a Curselax, which Skarmory deals with pretty well, especially with Roar there. Gonna stop Snorlax from getting too set up there, and a +1 return doing little. Fortress returns, getting pretty low now between these Drill Pecks and the residual Spike damage. We'll see. It is actually Rest Fortress. Okay, that gives it a new lease on life. We'll see Charizard re-enter, taking the opportunity. Blissey in, though. Segale not letting that opportunity be given out so freely. Charizard's going to sub again. Blissey tosses it away, as we perhaps expected. As Triangle sends the Blissey back in. Again, 2 unrevealed in the back, but the trio that is revealed here deals with this quite fine. And Segale reveals the Aromatherapy on the Blissey. This also means this Toxic is less impactful than ever. Fortress full health again and now awake, having the sleep healed away. As Blissey is carrying T-Bolt, we'll see Charizard re-enter again on the Rapid Spin this time. This is a little scarier, though. Gonna be able to get the sub back up. Actually just gonna go for the Focus Punch right on the Blissey right away. And that's gonna take a huge chunk out of Blissey. Can't get the kill safely, though, of course, because Blissey is just gonna toss and break that Focus Punch, break the sub. So we'll see Triangle send the Blissey back in, but Segale's Blissey will heal back up. Triangle's Blissey will do the same, sharing an egg, sharing breakfast together. And Blissey T-Bolts into the Blob. Snorlax takes very little from that. Skarmory returns, gonna get another curse up, but you have to wonder to what end. Skarm is presumably gonna get a Spike back up here. Indeed, trade some of its health to do so, and it is gonna Roar next turn, I imagine. Stop the Snorlax from getting out of control. Gonna take a second return in the process, though. Fortress is once again healthy. Skarmory's plan of Drill Pecking the guy down, less impactful because of the rest, but Triangle's clearly still happy to do it. And we'll see Skarm put the Spike back down as Blissey comes in. We are in a bit of a loop here. I'm gonna take the liberty of speeding up the gameplay just a little bit. We'll have to see how Triangle's plans to deal with this in the long term. Obviously not letting the Snorlax get too set up there. That crit return is going to do some big damage to Skarm, though. Not sure to what end, because again, it doesn't seem like there's anything here that can really break Skarmory besides Snorlax getting super set up. But until it's the last mon and can get roared out, that's not the problem. We see the very late reveal of the Metagross from Triangles. This is going to start mashing into the Snorlax. The defense boosts, though, are going to offset that quite a bit, as the Meteor Mash is not doing a whole lot. And no attack race from Metagross. Snorlax is going to continue to build itself up here and just going to explode on the guy. And Charizard's going to come in, maybe looking to finish this off with Flamethrower, but that crit actually mattered. Yeah, the calc in the chat is that crit absolutely mattered. And Segale is going to FF immediately after that. Unfortunate end there. Triangles seem to have a different plan in the back there. So it's not like it came down to the crit, but that certainly did decide things a little prematurely now, didn't it? But nicely done to Triangles, really holding it down with the Charizard Blissey in that bit of a stally endgame there. And now we find ourselves on the cusp of a Game 3, on the deciding match of the set of one of these players' tournament lives. We'll have to see, folks. Let's get into it. Skarm lead from Triangles. Tyranitar lead from Segale. Gonna click a Rock Slide right off the bat. Get a huge crit. Bring Skarm super low. Skarm does get the spike off, at least. Not flinching in the face of that. Starmie comes in looking to Rapid Spin right off the bat, perhaps. Skarmory can protect again for some chip heal, at least. Get some information on the Starmie. Starmie is just gonna click Surf, indicating a defensive Starmie, perhaps. As we see Gengar come in to block the Rapid Spin. Not going to let that spike go so easily. And we'll see a quick withdraw into Blissey, who takes the Thunderbolt. Does get paralyzed. I mean, that's about as good for Triangles as that scenario could go. Love to see the paralysis if you are Triangles. Gonna make the subsequent interactions a bit dicey here. We'll see Triangle's own Blissey come in. We'll see Segale's Blissey do absolutely nothing as it's stun locked. Zapdos finds its way in, gets Thunder Wave, gets paralyzed. Gonna roar out the Blissey, natural cure away the paralysis, and we'll see paralyzed Zapdos into Tyranitar, not exactly favorable. Flygon coming in to take the Rock Slide though. That is a-okay. And Skarmory enters on the Earthquake. Flygon is healing up just a bit. I forgot to mention that does seem like Choice Band damage to me on the Tyranitar. I'm a little bit rusty, maybe not, but that's my vibe that I get from that. Skarm's gonna reassert a second spike rather, as Starmie comes in trying to spin again, but not to be fooled. Gonna click Surf and hit the Gengar for a bit of damage. Maybe no, this is actually Psychic Starmie, not what you usually see most commonly with Surf, but in this case it's going to annihilate the Gengar. No more spin blocker. Starmie should be able to spin these spikes away relatively soon. Maybe not in the face of a Zapdos, that's a little bit scary, but eventually is the hope. We'll see Blissey come in, take more spikes damage. Zapdos does not roar again, but actually just sends the Dugtrio in, and Blissey is, as they say, completely screwed. Crit irrelevant. Dugtrio going to eliminate the low health Blissey. We see Salamence in now, at least. This is an opportunity. Zapdos will be the switch in, taking a Dragon Claw pretty alright. Salamence does carry the Rock Slide though, of course. That's going to do even bigger damage, but it is Rest Zapdos. Going to heal off the paralysis and get that health back up. And we'll see perhaps Sleep Talk here as well, which should exert some pressure, but no, it'll be a Blissey coming in on the Salamence, but Segale is one step ahead, sending the Tyranitar back in. And Skarmory enters on Brick Break. Gonna roar out the Starmie, actually coming in to try to Rapid Spin. Wow, what is going on here? Skarm is gonna get the third spike down. Segale's gonna get a second spike down in exchange. Skarm, though, both of them actually going for a roar there. Skarm is chip healing up rapidly. Starmie is going to recover on the suspected Protect, but no. Skarmory is actually swinging with the Drill Peck there, which would have killed the Starmie. But Starmie is now back in full health, of course, patient and willing to wait to get rid of those 3 spikes that is severely damaging Tyranitar. And we'll see the Brick Break come down. Zapdos should be able to come into that pretty well. And I mean, we know it's Choice Band, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see Aurora back out into Salamence, of which the switch-ins are, once again, a little bit dicey. We'll see Flamethrower come down, Skarmory protecting, Chip healing. Zapdos, I would say, is the most likely switch in here. Or, sorry, Blissey, what am I saying? Goodness. Yeah, taking a little from Flamethrower. Even Brick Break is not phenomenal there. We'll see a switch back out into Starmie. Blissey is the perfect opportunity using that turn of healing. Starmie should be able to spin these away pretty risk-free now. We'll see Doug come in to try to punish it, perhaps. Starmie is trapped, but manages to clear away the spikes. Earthquake is not quite going to be enough to finish off the Starmie. Dugtrio will fall to the Surf. Sandstorm will finish off the Starmie, however. Skarmory comes in and gets a free chip heal. Going to protect again, scout the Choice Band move from Tyranitar. Going to get some chip heal in the process. We'll see a switch back out to Salamence. Heads up on the Flygon coming in, presumably. Yes, that will be the case. Flygon looking quite healthy, but this is looking like mixed Salamence, which carries Dragon Claw. Indeed, Flygon scouts it with the Protect, but that is unpleasant, shall we say. Metagross is the 6th for Segale. We'll see that come in on Blissey, though. That is unfortunate for Triangles. Perhaps not expecting that. And Flygon will come in and take a crit Meteor Mash with the attack raise. Goodness. Metagross suddenly looking very scary here. Zapdos should be able to deal with it okay. But this will require very careful maneuvering from Triangles. We'll see Zapdos come in and take just under a third from the +1 Meteor Mash. And Sleep Talk there is actually going to get a nice juicy Thunderbolt off on Metagross. Getting the second attack raise, though, I was just about to say Mash can't finish Zapdos off here, but it absolutely can in that case. And the Sleep Talk rest is not going to save Zapdos, but the Meteor Mash miss will. And Zapdos waking up means it can get another rest off. It can take a +2 Meteor Mash. And suddenly this situation is a little bit scary. Zapdos does roll the roar. I will never try to say that again on the Sleep Talk, and that's going to defuse the situation quite a bit, getting rid of the +2 attack boost on Metagross, which was pretty much the only thing threatening Zapdos at that point. Salamence Rock Slide there could also do it, of course, but Zapdos is going to get another juicy Thunderbolt off. Metagross is getting chipped. The leftovers are helping to offset it a bit. Skarm is going to come in this time to take the explosion. Segale tries to push the button there, but Triangles is not letting Zapdos take that. And things are suddenly looking a little bit precarious. I know that's a filler word I'm thinking right now. Forgive me. Blissey re-enters on the Salamence, though. We'll see a Dragon Claw, very little. And this is not a Brick Break Salamence, this is Rock Slide. So we'll see Ice Beam, though. Tyranitar can take that. Tyranitar is carrying Brick Break, which should kill Blissey, but we actually see the Rock Slide there, which covers the Zapdos coming in as well. But this is, yeah, Tyranitar falls to the Thunderbolt here, and I think that is the game. Skarmory definitely can't take these consistently, at least. It will Drill Peck the Zapdos there. Gonna try to bring it low enough to where Salamence can finish it off, I suppose, but Rest is just gonna heal Zapdos back up to full. Flygon in now. Going to click Toxic, try to cover the Salamence coming back in. Skarm is just gonna Drill Peck the guy. Flygon is going to continue clicking Toxic, not letting Salamence in for even a second. And the third one misses, but Skarmory stays in regardless and just finishes off the Flygon with Drill Peck. And now Zapdos is the last one for Triangles, but should be able to hold it down, taking very little from Drill Peck. A Sleep Talk Thunderbolt is pretty much all Triangles needs right now. And we'll get the Roar. That's going to bring in Salamence at least. There is opportunities for Segale here. In the face of the Zapdos, the Rock Slide will land. Zapdos is going to wake up, though, and just Thunderbolt the Salamence. no flinch on the rock slide, and Segale forfeits in light of that development. Triangles will take the set after that freaky game 3. That was a little bit terrifying. Zapdos putting in some huge work there, and Triangles doing a pretty good job maneuvering around it in the face of those the threats like Salamence, Tyranitar. That situation with Metagross that turned out a little bit lucky. The Sleep Talk rolls were certainly pretty clutch there, but well done. What a wonderful set. I'm glad to have been able to commentate it. Thank you all so much for watching, and of course the tournament is ongoing, the final stages of the bracket. There is some exciting gameplay in store for us, folks. So hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment if you want. I don't know, do whatever, tell your friends. Yeah, see ya.